All right, let's jump right into this explainer. We're going to completely transform how you look at building your ultimate tech setup. Whether you're working from home, outfitting a massive corporate office, or just trying to get your brand new gadgets to actually turn on, yeah, the world of tech hardware can be totally overwhelming. So today, we're skipping the confusion of endless catalogs. We're going to drill all the way down from finding the right gear to dealing with those inevitable tech support headaches.
Here's our roadmap for today. First, the tech hardware ecosystem. Second, outfitting enterprise and office. Third, decoding monitor specifications. Fourth, troubleshooting common hardware issues. And fifth, navigating warranties and repairs. Let's get to it.
Starting things off with Section 1, the tech hardware ecosystem.
Look, the modern digital toolkit is absolutely massive. But if we chunk this sprawling ecosystem into logical groups, you really start to see how everything fits together into one unified digital landscape. We're not just talking about your standard laptops and mice here. A proper setup could mean anything from specialized acoustic server cabinets for networking all the way to high-fidelity podcast mics in the AV category. Understanding these broad pillars, it's a game changer. It helps you pinpoint exactly what's missing from your own environment without getting totally lost in the weeds.
Moving right along to Section 2, outfitting enterprise and office.
Purchasing strategies for the office have evolved so much lately. Instead of just buying random cameras and crossing your fingers that they work together, organizations can now grab specialized, out-of-the-box ecosystems. And these are tailored perfectly to whatever software you're already using. So whether your team practically lives on Microsoft Teams, Zoom, or Google Meet, you can scale the hardware right to the room size. Got an 8-person huddle room? Or maybe a massive 16-person boardroom? These hardware packages are pre-configured for those exact dimensions. It completely takes the guesswork out of AV integration.
All right, Section 3, decoding monitor specifications.
Now, there is a world of difference between an entry-level slim frame monitor, which, is perfect for standard home office emails and browsing, and a high-performance curved screen built for serious multitasking. When you make the jump to something like a 34-inch Series 76 HWQ, you're suddenly dealing with a sprawling 3440 by 1440 resolution and a lightning-fast 2-millisecond response time. So you've got to ask yourself, does your daily workflow actually demand that kind of massive screen real estate?
Which brings us to a really crucial point. Understanding standout specs, like a 165Hz refresh rate. You'll see this on KONIC's 27-inch Series 726 and 32-inch Series 728 models. But what does that number actually mean for you in the real world? Well, it literally means the screen is redrawing its image 165 times every single second. That delivers incredibly smooth on-screen motion, which is a lifesaver for reducing eye fatigue if you're into intense gaming or fast-paced video editing.
By isolating these specific features, you can match the hardware directly to how you actually work. If you do professional graphic design, you are absolutely going to prioritize a display with true color enhancement. But say your job requires you to just stare at giant spreadsheets for 10 hours a day. Well, then finding a panel with integrated low blue light technology becomes your top priority for long-term eye health. It's really all about intentional selection.
Let's pivot to Section 4, troubleshooting common hardware issues.
Okay, we have all been there. You just bought a gorgeous, brand new KONIC TV, you unbox it, plug it in, hit the power button on the remote, and literally nothing happens. Total panic sets in, right? You immediately assume you were sold a dud.
But hold on, before you pack it all back up and angrily drive back to the store, check this out. Safety designs actually require you to find and activate a hidden master power switch first. On these TVs, it's tucked away underneath the bottom edge on the back. You literally have to physically flip that switch to supply power to the unit, wait for that front panel light to turn on, and only then will your remote control actually do anything. Crisis averted.
Here's another super common headache when trying to boot up a drained smart device. You plug in your tablet, look at the screen, and there's no battery icon. Nothing. You're thinking, is the cable broken? Is the charging port totally fried? Well, it turns out completely depleted hardware sometimes just needs a massive, uninterrupted infusion of energy before it has enough juice to even turn on its own display and show you that battery icon. If your tablet has been sitting in a drawer for a month, you might actually need to leave it plugged into the wall for 5 to 6 hours before that charging indicator finally pops up. Sometimes, patience is literally a troubleshooting step.
Now, what if you find your phone calls are bypassing you entirely, sending friends and colleagues straight to the void? The issue might not be a broken speaker or some weird software glitch. It might actually be your telecommunications provider. You always need to ensure your hardware is compatible with your local network infrastructure. For example, KONIC specifically notes that their phones are designed to operate exclusively on the Vodafone and 2degrees networks. So if you try to just pop a Spark SIM card into one of those devices, your calls are going to go straight to voicemail without ever ringing. The hardware is perfectly fine. It's the network synergy that's missing.
And finally, Section 5, Navigating Warranties and Repairs.
The absolute golden rule here is to always go through your original retailer. Seriously, don't try to mail it directly to a warehouse yourself. The original retailer holds all your necessary purchasing documentation, and more importantly, they use dedicated, tracked logistical channels directly with the manufacturer to make sure your gear doesn't just get lost in the mail. From there, certified techs will take a look to see if the fault actually falls under the warranty's terms.
There is a saying in the tech industry that perfectly captures the grounded and honestly sometimes harsh reality of out-of-warranty hardware maintenance. Just because something can be fixed doesn't necessarily mean it makes financial sense to actually do it.
You really have to weigh the value of your damaged goods carefully here. If your device is out of warranty and you send it in, simply asking a technician to open it up and diagnose the broken part takes highly skilled time. If they quote you a repair price and you decide, you know what, that's way too expensive, and decline it, you're likely still going to be charged an assessment fee just for their investigative labor. And one last thing, please pay close attention to those user manuals, because simple mistakes can cost you dearly. Get this, when you're assembling a KONIC TV, the box includes 2 different sets of screws. If you accidentally use the longer base screws on the back panel of the television, you can actually puncture and destroy the internal screen components. That incorrect fitment entirely voids your warranty, basically leaving you with a very expensive paperweight right out of the box.
And that brings us to the end of our explainer today. I really hope this breakdown has empowered you to evaluate your own setup, make smarter, specs-driven upgrades, and handle tech support with total confidence. So take a look around your desk right now. Based on everything we just covered, where are the weak links in your own daily digital workflow? What piece of tech needs replacing? And more importantly, do you now know exactly what to look for when you upgrade? Keep learning, keep organizing, and we'll catch you